All right. Well, it's become a carousel now. Everybody comes along and sacks people and brings their own in. Honestly, how do we get out of this? We thought we had broken the cycle. President Atta Mills seemed to have done that. But we're back into it. What's the cure?
Um, the cure is for us to grow up, or better still, for our leaders to grow up. And I don't mean it flippantly. Um, Nations are governed by laws, but a lot of time by conventions and practices that have been developed over time. Okay, leaders must have a certain level of. Uh, I'm not sure. I don't want to use a word that sounds uh, negative, but
Oh, say how you
people
feel.
must be. Well, let me just make the point. See, over time, you develop certain ways of doing things. Clearly, across the world, those things have been challenged. For instance, as you see in the US, okay, there are things that presidents didn't do. Okay, today you see presidents selling T-shirts and coins. So we are in a different age altogether. But the fundamental point is that there are some things that you don't do. There is politics, there's economics, there's morality, there is law. Okay, and all these things are broken when you see that you are leaving office for sure, and then you just load the system with a burden that you expect somebody to come and deal with. Look, people think that, oh, it's starting. I am very sympathetic. Unemployment is not an easy thing, but it doesn't help anybody when we do that. Let me explain. When you give somebody an employment which is not productive, you hurt the person, you hurt the economy. You hurt the person because you go and put them there, they sit down for 8 hours. And if it's a really correct, I don't, if you hurt the soul of the person by just letting them sit there and do nothing, it has all kinds of effects on that person. It's better that the person be doing something productive or find something else to do that brings them fulfillment instead of just sit down. You hurt the whole economy by paying that person for no productivity. You just create inflation. All right? And maybe that person should be retrained to do something more useful. Okay, so it helps nobody when we do those things. And then the person ultimately gets sacked or something like that. Okay, so we should really stop doing that. If you look at the politics, it's just not right when somebody has won an election fair and square, based on articulating a certain set of policies that you should give them space to operate. They should, operationalize what they have come to do for which they were voted into power. You don't put them in a certain situation where you lump them with this kind of burden and then they have to come and find a way to resolve it. The law of it is simple. Anybody on probation can resign without notice. In the same way, they can be sacked without notice. So if you just put people into a place and then you leave them for the next government, if they have not gone through the proper process, they can be removed. In the same way, they can also remove themselves. My own view is that if we cannot respect ourselves or conduct ourselves properly, then we should put this in the Transitional Act, make it a law, that once the election is determined, or even if you like a month or so to the election, no major recruitments may be made. What it means is that if any recruitment will be made, it must be justified. And if we're in a transition period, the outgoing government should not make any recruitment except it's an emergency recruitment, and that must be made with the full knowledge and agreement of the incoming government. It is just not right to load the system with people that you did not employ when you were there and expect that somebody will come and deal with them.